What if the scariest thing isn't the fog that swallows the city, but waking up inside it and realizing the person you've been fighting for might not even be who you thought? That cold mist on your skin like graveyard dew, the taste of old regret in the air, the distant echo of a night's vow fading into silence while you question every step you've taken. That question wrapped around my chest like chains during episode 11 of Fate/Strange Fake, titled The Pale Night, which dropped on March 14, 2026, and streams exclusively on Crunchyroll. We're barreling toward the end of this first season's fake Holy Grail war in Snowfield, right after the last episode's brutal king versus king clash left legends bleeding and the city forever changed. The golden battles now give way to a quiet, ghostly haze, like stepping into an empty mirror of your hometown where every shadow feels like a forgotten memory and every choice carries the weight of who you really are. I sat frozen, heart pounding like I was lost in that fog myself. What hidden truth about loyalty and identity waits in this pale world? You'll only understand the full ache if you watch, and that deep, pulling need to know will drag you in like a command spell you can't break. This episode flows straight from the explosive fallout of the previous one, where Archer stood over a fallen saber but the king of heroes himself was sealed and pulled down. Suddenly a massive black fog blankets everything, shifting the battlefield into a strange, peaceful yet empty version of Snowfield. We follow split groups, Flat running into Hansa and his squad of nuns, Richard and Ayaka linking up with the police, and Sigma waking near a certain girl and her mysterious servant. No big spoilers here, just know the tension simmers low but burns hot, turning raw survival into quiet, heart-heavy choices. It moves like a slow river through mist, carrying the pain of broken legends straight into these desperate reunions and revelations. You feel the shift in your bones, the same way history's great turning points, think knights riding into unknown mists in old legends or soldiers waking in a changed battlefield after the guns fell silent, make everything feel personal and uncertain. Let's dive deeper. This episode feels like a quiet storm that changes everything underneath. The plot advances with perfect, tense balance. The early fog mystery pulls you in, then slows into deep conversations and small decisions that reshape the whole war. Key revelations land softly but hit hard. Old doubts surface, new paths open, and a cliffhanger leaves you staring at the screen in stunned silence. The pacing is masterful, mixing calm, eerie moments with sharp emotional punches that never feel rushed. Fans on Reddit have been asking the same cloudy questions. Why did the city change? What's really going on with Ayaka's identity? And why does everyone suddenly focus on saving one little girl instead of fighting? Drawing straight from the original light novel by Ryogo Narita, this adapts key parts of volumes 5 to 6. Here's the clear truth without spoiling the anime's magic. The fake Holy Grail War was always an experiment that lets rules break, like summoning duplicates and letting one servant's special power, Philia's intervention, rewrite the battlefield into this pale mirror world. In the source material, this fog isn't random. It's a side effect that forces characters to face their inner truths instead of endless fighting. Ayaka's mystery ties back to her real past in Fuyuki from the Fate/Stay Night timeline, making Hansa's questions about who she truly is hit even harder. The shift to saving Tsubaki over killing her? It's the story proving that in this broken war, hope and morality can win through sacrifice and growth. Previous episodes built the chaos. This one strips it down so the bigger picture feels heartbreakingly real and earned. The characters open up in ways that cut straight to the heart. Richard, voiced by the powerhouse Yuki Ono, shines brightest here. His hidden wound is the loneliness of his God-given talent and the dark deeds he once did as king, but his growth transforms cold obsession into real heroic fire. His choices feel consistent yet deeply surprising, especially when he volunteers for something terrible to protect others. Ayaka Suju, Kana Hanazawa, carries quiet strength and guilt, her motivations shifting as she refuses to stand by helplessly again. Their bond grows beautifully, each inspiring the other like mirrors reflecting better versions of themselves. Flat and Hansa bring sharp, unexpected teamwork, while Sigma, Gakudo Kajiwara, stays cool and calculated in the background. Their dialogue is sharp, poetic, and heavy with meaning. Lines land like quiet vows in an empty cathedral, carrying weight that echoes long after the credits and foreshadowing pain you'll feel in your own chest. The themes strike deep: power versus truth, morality when rules break, sacrifice for the innocent, and hope versus the despair of a fake world. You see it in every foggy step. How far will you go to save someone when your own identity might be a lie? It hits like classic tales of knights facing their shadows in misty legends or real-life people choosing kindness in impossible wars. But here it feels raw and intimate. World building grows richer and more haunting. New layers on the fake Grail's broken rules, and this pale mirror city turns Snowfield from a battlefield into a living puzzle of duplicated fates and rewritten histories. It complicates everything in the best way, making survival feel earned through heart instead of just blades. Visually, it's stunning under A1 Pictures art direction team, with character designs by UK Yamada. Colors shift from fierce golds to soft, eerie pale blues and grays. Lighting and shadows move like living mist, stillness freezing your breath while sudden cuts burst with quiet intensity. The animation flows smooth as a night's quiet resolve, every foggy silhouette and trembling hand packed with feeling. Direction and cinematography by Shun Enikido and Takahito Sakazum use tight close-ups on uncertain eyes and wide empty shots of the changed city to mirror the inner storms, just like the tense atmosphere in legendary mystery tales. The soundtrack by Hiroyuki Sawano becomes a haunting presence itself. Orchestral swells and soft motifs rise like distant nightly horns, burning into your memory. Silence speaks louder than any roar here, letting the weight of every choice and doubt sink deep. Voice acting brings the souls alive. Yuki Ono as Richard pours raw, trembling intensity into every reflection. His timbre carries the exhaustion and fire of a king facing his darkest self. Kana Hanazawa as Ayaka adds layers of soft guilt turning to quiet strength that embodies her growth perfectly. Emotionally, this episode left real scars I can still feel. It made me feel the heavy loneliness of being lost in fog, like waking up in a changed world where everything you knew feels uncertain, mixed with sparks of wonder at characters choosing hope anyway. The key moments feel like destinies quietly colliding, a breaking point that shifts the war from blood to redemption, leaving you breathless. It echoes questions we all carry. What if the person you fight for isn't who you thought? How do you keep hoping when your whole world feels fake? I personally finished with a tight chest and wet eyes, wondering how one pale night could carry so much heart. Sure, some might say the slower pace or dense lore feels heavy after big fights, but that's no flaw. It's deliberate, like the calm after a storm that forces you to feel every emotion just as the characters do. The quietness mirrors real life. The deepest battles often happen inside. Episode 11 succeeds completely, blending quiet mystery with soul-deep growth, pushing the story forward while leaving you aching for the finale. Its strengths, those raw character moments, perfect foggy atmosphere, flawless craft, far outweigh any small stumbles. Weaknesses, only if you want non-stop swords, and this show never promised that. So here's the truth that lingers like mist on your skin. The real fake isn't the war or the city. Just wondering if your own heart is still true in the pale light. Will you step into that quiet, foggy snowfield with Richard and Ayaka? Feel the weight of their doubts and hopes in your own chest? One click on Crunchyroll, and their story becomes yours. You won't just watch. You'll carry their scars, and you won't be able to look away.